He also, here in America, encourages our own fundamentalists. He kept talking about abortion provider Dr. Tiller. And he said, Tiller the baby killer, until a fundamentalist Christian went and shot and killed Dr. Tiller. Okay? But no. It's only their fundamentalists that are the bad guys. Believe me, fundamentalists of all different stripes, they all agree. Violence is the answer, and we should all go to war over our religions. Well, I don't believe either one of your religions, and I have no interest in those insane wars.
Now, this sad, ever-inflating sack of shit has the nerve to go on to make yet another outrageous, horrific, false equivalence by bringing up an abortion clinic killing. Not a bombing in this case, it was a killing. Bill O'Reilly was mouthing off about an abortion doctor, Dr. Tiller, and one of his yahoos that listened to him and watched him went and killed the guy. Now, let's put aside the point that this cherry-picked incident is obviously terrible. I am wildly pro-abortion. Abortion is legal. This doctor was doing a noble service for society. The guy that killed him deserves to be locked away, thrown in jail for the rest of his life. This was an outrageous, morally despicable event. That's obvious. Let's move past that. Why have you pinpointed this event in lieu of the larger conversation, which is Islamic terror? What is it about a Christian killing an abortion doctor that you think helps your cause? Now let's look at the facts here. Do you know how many people have died in abortion clinic-related violence in America? Do you know the number, Cenk? The number is 8.
Today's number of the day is the number 8. Haha, yes, did you guess it? Congratulations to all the winners.
Okay, this Wikipedia page, there's so many pussy-ass liberal PC motherfuckers out there that have Google searched Christian terrorism in a hope, in a desire to find something to put on the other side of the scale. And why? Why this clamoring for a two wrongs make a right situation? As if only they could just get enough Christian violence on the other side, then we would stop harping on the Muslims. We would stop talking about how bad these Muslims are. And somehow they would be less bad. Somehow the mass slaughter that is happening around the world is just not happening anymore. But it's so palpably untrue. Christians are not killing. So you have the Dr. George Tiller case where he's shot and killed by a guy. That was 2009. Before that, you go to 1998. 1998 for the next example of a guy who was shot. Some doctor was shot again. Outrageous that he was shot. That's 2 people in 11 years. If Muslim violence was 2 people every 11 years, you might have a point. Unfortunately, that's not even remotely the case. You know that's not the case, and this goes beyond just being pathetic as an argument, as an attempt at equivalence. This is sickening. This is a morally disgusting stance to take. The fact that you are willing to try to compare abortion clinic violence from Christians, which have led to 8 deaths. 8 deaths, period. Not 8 deaths this year. Not 8 deaths this decade. 8 deaths in the history of America. Unless the Native Americans had abortion clinics that I'm unaware of. I heard the Apaches went crazy on those. They were real pro-life over there when they weren't chopping off each other's heads for the sun god. Yeah, 8 deaths. You fucking jackass. Now let's, just for fun, for a shit and a giggle, let's go over to the wiki page about terror attacks this year, 2015. Let's see how fast it takes us to get to 8 deaths. And then we might have a reason to compare these two, a reason to even fathom talking about Christian violence in the same sentence. And no, we will not respect your ridiculous dips into history and talking about the fucking Crusades, which were hundreds of years ago. 2015, January 1st, New Year, everybody's celebrating. There's hope in the world. Not in Nigeria, where Boko Haram killed a guy. Suicide bomber on a motorcycle drove up to the gates of a Christian church in the northeastern city of Gombe and detonated his explosive belt while worshippers were inside at the New Year's Mass. Luckily, only the suicide bomber was killed, nice, in the explosion. Allahu Akbar on that, while 8 people were taken to hospital with varying degrees of injuries. Okay, so we're off to a good start. 1. So it's 1 to 8 now. Okay, so right now, if this is the only information we're looking at, Christian terrorism is a scourge on this earth. January 2nd, there was an attack on a bus in Cameroon. 15 dead, 10 injured. A group of Boko Haram militants attacked a bus, killing 15. Okay, well, we've just doubled. So now Islamic violence has now proven itself to be twice the threat. You say, well, wait a minute, just because they were successful in killing 16 people in 2 days, that doesn't mean that's only 2 attacks. With abortion clinic over the course of human history in America, you have 8 separate attacks. So it's really 8-2. Okay, fine. That's ridiculous. Let's keep going. Mass kidnapping. Oh, wait a minute. Nobody died here. 40 kidnapped. Boko Haram. Beautiful. So we won't even include that. Let's not even register that as terror, even though those people's lives are fucked forever. And they're probably being raped right now. Attack on a military base in the Philippines. Wait a minute, the Philippines, those are Asians. Those could be some other funky, freaky thing going on over there. Nope, it's Islamic freedom fighters and 1 person dead. Add that to the list. A knife attack in Tunisia, 1 dead. And it was Islamist militants. This is what I love. The Baga massacre in Nigeria. The dead count, they go conservatively 100 to 2,000. It's going to be way more than 2,000, but nice try on that estimate. So well over 2,000 murdered by Boko Haram, who is not just a funky name, that is a Muslim group of individuals, Muslims, killing on behalf of Muhammad and chanting the name of their God as they do it. A roadside bombing kills nobody in Mali. Okay, we don't know who did it. It was probably a Muslim. Oh, because it's always the Muslim, always the Muslim. No, because Islamic attacks are frequent in Mali, and it's an Islamic country. There's a bombing in Pakistan, 4 dead, 8 injured, and that was probably a radical Mormon. You guys feel it, I feel it, we both know it's true. No, it's Al-Qaeda, or it could be the Taliban. It could be the Taliban of Pakistan or Al-Qaeda, we're not sure. There was a bombing in Yemen, 6 dead, 31 injured on the 4th. We're on the 4th of January. Okay, so save some of your energy, because we're probably going to talk about a guy in Norway from 2010. A guy. Or we're going to talk about 8 events over the course of American history that killed 8 people. Yeah, so 6 dead, 31 injured in Yemen. That is Al-Qaeda. Suicide car bombing, 4 dead, Somalia, and that is the Amish. Bombing in Egypt, 0 dead. Hey, 4 injured, Muslim. There was a suicide bombing in Saudi Arabia. Large chance that that's Jewish. Nope, it's Islamic State of Iraq. There's a car bombing on the 5th in Afghanistan. 5 dead, that's the Taliban. We got 6 dead in... oh God, I can see what's coming up already. This is awesome. The United States flag is up here. So 2 dead in Afghanistan. We got 25 dead in suicide bombings in Iraq from Islamic State. Lovely, on the 6th. And Turkey, Turkey, the great Ottoman Empire, the home of Cenk himself. We got 2 dead from a suicide bombing. A female suicide bomber detonated her explosives in front of a police station, injuring 2 officers, 1 mortally, and killing herself in the process. Aww. We got a USA, United States, and this was done by a Christian. This motherfucking racist Christian. 40-year-old balding white man, right-wing nut. Killed nobody, injured nobody, barely ruined the paint job of a wall in Colorado. An improvised explosive was detonated outside of an NAACP office in Colorado Springs. It failed to ignite a gas can placed beside it. There were no injuries. Oh, oh God. And he did an entire video on that, by the way. So in the midst, he didn't do videos on these other things. He did one on the French stuff. He did one on, the Young Turks did one on the 2,000 dead and didn't mention Muslim atrocities at all. Instead, blamed us for not covering it, insinuating that we are racist, and then went into a tirade about how American foreign policy is the problem. Insane. Wow. Yeah, here we go. This event in Yemen, the Young Turks are not doing a video on this. 37 dead. Could be 38. That guy's in a coma, apparently. 66 injured. Car bomb. It's Al-Qaeda of the Arabian Peninsula. We will not hear a video on that. We will have 10 minutes of Cenk making false equivalences about a paint job in Colorado getting injured by a white guy who happened to be Christian. Here we go. Maybe you heard about this one. On the 7th, we have 12 dead in Paris. Shortly after, on the 9th, we have 5 dead, 9 injured. That's more Islamic violence. The 10th, we have suicide bombing kills 9, 36 injured. That's Lebanon. That is Al-Nusra Front. That's Islamic. We have suicide bombings on the 11th. That is 5 dead, 46 injured in Nigeria. That is Islamic. We have an axe attack. Attempted bombing. 6 dead, and that's China, folks. Whoa. Look at this. Look at this uptick here at the end. We have China and the Ukraine. These are not religious events. These are political events. These are separatists and rebels. And, well, what do you know? How can we leverage that? How can we leverage these attacks against what the Muslims are doing?
These Muslims are coming and killing us. They're beheading us. What? What's that? Oh, the last two weren't Muslim? Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Simply amazing. And this is 2015. You want to have even more fun? Go take a look at any month of 2014, 13, 12, 11. Go all the way back, as far back as you want to go. We have the numbers. All the stats are there. It's appalling. It's actual events, history, unsightly history, uncomfortable history, unpleasant. It's not fun to look at that. It's not fun to accept those facts. And yet we do, because we enjoy living in some semblance of reality. That's why we're atheists. It's not fun to realize you're going to die and enter oblivion, and everybody you love is going to die. That's not fun. Cenk is a goddamn moron, and he's a shameless buffoon. He is a coward. He's a liar. He's a propagandist. He peddles bullshit because he has a self-serving agenda. I don't have an agenda. If these numbers, if you replaced every Muslim group here with any other group in the world, anybody, any religious group, any bronies, male losers who are fans of My Little Pony, if they were committing these acts of violence, do you think I'd be making videos about it? Yes, I would. Any group, it doesn't matter. It so happens to be the Muslims. And that's why I'm making a video and pointing it out. And that's why it's outlandish and insane that you avoid facing that very overt fact.